Hey, what is going on, my abducted humans? I am back with another spooky video. I know you guys have been waiting. Wait, no longer, because I'm here. There's absolutely something weird, something strange going on in the Appalachian Mountains. Now, I don't know if you guys heard some story times about the Appalachian Mountains before, but I have personally told a story on my page about them that somebody had submitted to me. And that is what put the Appalachian Mountains like to the forefront for me. But if you ask me, it sounds like that's the spookiest place in America, period. Like, New Orleans may not even have anything on the Appalachian Mountains, considering things happen to people on camera during broad daylight, like voices are whispered on camera, shadows are caught running up and down, you know? I mean, also with the internet, you never really know what's real, you never really know what's fake. Like, people will, sometimes make up information. But I found a few videos about the Appalachian Mountains that I thought were personally chilling. I'm gonna put them up so we can react to them together, because let me know what you make of these videos. Also, before we go into the video, I need you guys to leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought about these videos, or if you have any thoughts about the Appalachian Mountains. Would you live in the Appalachian Mountains? Have you gone to the Appalachian Mountains? What have you heard? Let me know if you believe the clips that you're about to see and what you feel from them. Let's get straight into this video. And I don't know whether I said this or not, but you better subscribe to my channel. Like, duh. You better subscribe. My whole thing actually started off with this video.
And just getting some fresh air. And I wanted to thank everybody for getting that video to 1 million views. That was pretty crazy. I didn't expect that at all. Usually I'm stuck in like the 200-300 range, but out here in Appalachia, you kind of experience some really weird stuff, and it's hard to explain, but I like hanging back in the woods. It's just really creepy sometimes. You know, do you guys... All the noise just disappeared. Time to go.
You know, they say that every time the woods go silent, it is because a predator is coming. And, in more human terms, when the woods go silent, in other words, it's time for you to go. Oh, it's a warning.
Mike.
First of all, what do you guys make of this? And I am going through the comments to see, what other people are saying, or to see if other people are saying that this is fake or that this is just some audio. But no, it doesn't appear to be some sort of audio. This appears to be somebody walking home and is genuinely horrified at all these, screams that she's hearing. Now, a few of the comments that I'm hearing a lot about this is, what if it's actually somebody in danger who's actually screaming for help? but everybody over there is just accustomed to, you know, minding their business. But I don't know, that's kind of hard to ignore. I cannot live in the Appalachian Mountains, I'll tell you that.
So yeah, if you are outside and things just start to get really quiet, that is when you need to be on high alert. And by really quiet, I mean nature is very noisy. If you are outside, you're gonna hear birds, you're gonna hear bees buzzing, you're gonna hear animals scurrying, you're gonna hear the wind. The wind is a very big key factor in this that you wanna keep an eye on, because if it's windy and it suddenly stops, something ain't right. That happened in my case. The wind stopped blowing. It was a very windy day and all of a sudden there was just no wind. Now, if you are outside and these things start to happen, what can you do? Well, you need to get out of the area, but you want to do it calmly. You never want to run because you're going to trigger that hunting instinct in them and they are going to hunt you. So you are going to keep doing exactly what you were doing, but calmly get out of the area. If you were humming a song to yourself, keep humming. Keep up the same pace that you were doing. If you were already running, don't dramatically stop your pace because that's also gonna get their attention. So keep doing what you were doing, but get out of the area.
Like, that's not OD. Like, damn, like, so many rules. Like, I think the Appalachian Mountains might be worse than Haiti. I think. Golly, or just as bad. Oh, and this next video, actually, you guys, this video scared me, okay? This video scared me. I had to wait to record this video during the day. I didn't want to record this at night. Even though I was finding all this evidence at night, I didn't want to sit there and talk about these things at night. But now that it's daylight, yeah, I got my camera propped up and now, yeah, we're ready to go over it. And when I be telling y'all, you may not want to watch these videos at night, I mean that, because you have the ability to psych yourself out, or if you are so afraid, you're going to draw something to you, because a lot of these spirits actually feed off of what? Fear. All right, now that you know, I told you what it is, let's get into the video. So this guy actually went outside in the middle of the night, I think, for his dog, for his dog to, like, you know, use the bathroom or whatever. And this is his story.
Guys, Cherokee, Dewey, come on.
You guys, and again, going through the comments to see if anybody in here is like even remotely a critic about this. Like, is somebody making up these videos? No, I don't think so, you guys, because it's other people in the comments that are familiar with the Appalachian Mountains that are talking about either their own encounters or just straight up talking about the rules of what people should and should not do. And that these scenarios are like very common, and it doesn't surprise anybody who lives up there. So it's like people aren't making up these videos. I mean, don't get me wrong, some people do, but in some cases, I don't think they're all made up. Like, I don't know if you guys were hearing the whispers in the video, but like definitely chilling to my core, okay? Let's move on to the next video. Now, this should be your case study in case you wanted to move to the Appalachian Mountains. Maybe hold off on that. Or if you like the dark, spooky, and mysterious stuff, this might be the perfect place for you. And according to the comments, people are hearing I see you about halfway through the video. People are hearing whispers. Are you scared? I see you. And pretty much, yeah. Let's keep going. And I think this creator, Dustin Frazier, he was posting a lot of these videos last year. And I think that, you know, he lives in the Appalachian Mountains. He works over there. And pretty much he just records his experience. And don't get me wrong, the more I kept doing research, I think like at first, like he did experience like some spooky stuff there. But then I think after realizing how much social media attention that you can get from this, it stopped being authentic. That's just my opinion, but
Hello? Hello?
I don't know if these videos are real or not. I think that there's a cinematic thing to it. If you ask me, like the heavy breathing, the afraid, I think that there might be some acting there, but I don't know, because at the same time you hear the dog whining in the back, and like you see the lights flashing and shit. So it's like And then on top of that, you're seeing people in the comments agreeing that they went through something similar living up there. So you kind of just don't know, right? Either way, we're not done here, you guys. Let's keep going.
Okay, so I live in the Appalachian Mountains.
Now this one was actually a spooky one, and it kept pissing me off because people in the comments were saying that her landlord was doing this, but I don't actually think it was her landlord doing this. Let's watch her story time, and you guys let me know what you think.
Okay, so I live in the Appalachian Mountains. I rent my house, and I don't know if I have a ghost or if it's some kind of Appalachian folklore that has been fucking with me, but there is no human explanation for this. So, and I have my theories, but buckle up. So for some context, I only moved out here because one, it is way cheaper than where I was living previously, and two, I have friends down the road. So like I'm not out here completely alone, but I do live by myself, and it is just me and my dog. So within a week of moving in, I deep cleaned this house. And in doing that, I also Windexed the exterior windows. They all had a film of pollen on them, and I wanted to be able to see out my windows. Within a week of Windexing the exterior windows, and mind you, I am the only one that has been in and out of the house. I'm sitting in my living room, and I'm looking out the window, and the sun is hitting the window in just the right way that I noticed two giant handprints on the outside of the window. So this handprint right here, like you can see it a little bit, that's what spooked me. And then so I went outside to investigate because I was like, what the fuck? Like I just cleaned these windows and I know that no one has been here, and they were fresh prints. Clearly these were fresh. This is the right hand and this one's the left. And no one had been at my house. And I know that nobody tried to break in because I have a Ring camera on that entrance, and in order to get to this window, you have to walk past the Ring camera. This is the layout of the deck. So right here is the door, and there's my camera right there mounted, and this is the staircase leading up to the deck, and this is the only entrance to the deck. And then where the window is along this couch right here. So whatever it was that tried to push open that window somehow got past that camera. And mind you, the camera's view goes to like right before that mat. So there's no like army crawling past it. Like if you come up that staircase, you are passing that camera. Like I don't know. So that whole situation kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I was like, you know what, I'm just going to gaslight myself and pretend that didn't happen. So I kind of just let it go. And I was like, you know what, that was weird, but maybe it was a fluke. So about a month or so after that happened, I went out of town for 5 or 6 days. And before I left, I made sure every light in the house was off because I'm not paying for that. So upon my return, it was dark outside, and I could see from the street before I even pulled up my driveway that one of the guest room lights was on. And based on the light that I saw, I knew it was a lamp. So it wasn't like a switch where maybe I accidentally flicked it on instead of off. Like, no, it was a lamp. You have to crank it. So I am shitting a brick, and I pull up my driveway. I call my mom because in case I die, like I don't know who I'm about to walk in on in my house. I go inside, and there was nothing. There was no one, nothing, and I was like, that's weird. But once again, what did I do? I gaslit myself, and I was like, well, maybe there was like some kind of shortage and it turned the lamp on. Like, no. So after that happened, nothing weird happened for a while. Like, it was a good few months. And then in the springtime, I installed string lights on my outside deck. Again, I went out of town, and I come home, and not only was the same guest bedroom light on, but the string lights were magically plugged in and they were on. I gotta stop coming home when it's dark outside. So again, I FaceTime my mom, and I'm like, the string lights are on and the guest bedroom light is on. I know they were off, and I know the string lights were not plugged in. Freaking out. Whatever, I go inside, check the house, no one, nothing, no explanation for it. And I'm like, well, shit, because that definitely wasn't a power surge unless the power surge levitated a plug into the wall to turn on the string lights. Also, I have cameras inside my house. I have a camera in the living room, and I have a camera in the kitchen. both of those cameras face entrances, so no one came in the house and there was nothing inside that at least the camera picked up on. So after all of that happened, I just kind of accepted the fact that my house is haunted. And I was like, you know what, whatever, maybe we can be homies. He hasn't killed me yet, so maybe we're cool. A month or so later, I had my landlord here. He was fixing the smoke detectors and stuff. And he lives in the house behind mine. I could walk through my backyard to his house. Him and his wife lived there. They lived there for quite some time. And so I asked him, I was like, this weird shit's been going on. Like, do you know anything about it? Do you know any history on the house? And he was like, nah, like, we just kind of bought it sight unseen. It went up for sale. We thought it was a good opportunity, whatever. So I took it upon myself to do some digging. And sure enough, the person that owned it before my landlord's died in the house. I read his obituary and it was like, so-and-so died in the house, surrounded by family, blah, 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 whatever. And the guy was old. It was nothing like crazy. No one was murdered. But he was in the Marine Corps. He was from Texas. He was a Bible thumper. And I was like, great. Like, my gay ass is being hate crime from the dead. But then I got curious because based on this guy's obituary, I wanted to know more about his background. So I looked up his kids because they were listed in the obituary. I wanted to see if any of them were still local to the area or if it was just like a one-off. I don't know why he was in fucking Appalachia. But sure enough, his son still lives in the area. And I went on his Facebook to see if I could find information about his dad who died in my house. And as I'm looking on the son's Facebook, there are pictures of the son with my landlord. So now my landlord's a liar because he did know the history of the house and he did know that someone died in it because it was his friend's dad. I'm already stuck in the lease, so like, whether you tell me or not, I'm not moving. I don't know why you weren't just honest, but anyway, so that happened. And I hear creepy shit in this house all the time. I'll hear doors creaking, but I'm like, oh, it's a draft. Or I'll hear tapping on the window and I'm like, cool, it's a bug. Like, I can just gaslight myself and it's fine. And it never really sets my dog off either. Like, the worst she'll do is just... And at most, it's for 3 minutes. And I hate when she fucking does it, because I'm like, okay, he's here in the room with us, but you're not barking, so he must be friendly, right? So after the string light incident, there was another dormant period from, like, May to July where nothing really weird happened outside of the shit that I hear on a daily basis. But then there was this one night in the middle of July, and my dog sleeps in my bedroom with me, because I do not subject her to what goes on in the rest of the house in the dark, because if I don't want to be out there, I'm not going to make her be out there. So we sleep in my room. But this one night in the middle of July, she woke up at 3 a.m, and her hair was standing straight up on her back, and she was going berserk at whatever was on the other side of my bedroom door. And I was like, oh, fuck no. So I get up, and I lock the bedroom door. And as I'm locking it, I heard the loudest crash coming from somewhere in the house. Immediately, I check all the cameras, outside, inside, and there is nothing. But I was not about to go investigate that in the dark, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, the bedroom door is locked, let's just, like, sit here frozen in fear, because what else are we to do? And on that particular night, I had done all of my dishes, and, like, the sink was clean, there was nothing on the drying mat except for 2 Yeti tumbler cups, and they're, like, metal cups. So the next morning, I am going around the house, I'm like, what could have crashed? Because it literally sounded like a TV fell over. It was so loud. And that's when I walked over to the sink. And in the sink, there were 2 Yeti tumbler cups sitting up perfectly. Like, someone had placed them there. And where the drying mat is in relation to my sink, it was not physically possible for those Yeti cups to roll over from the drying mat into the sink and then somehow magically land straight up side by side next to each other. Like, no. Something placed them there. And I don't know why it was that loud, but it was. I was making this video last night and then I got creeped out, so I'm just finishing it right now. So like I said, all of that happened in like mid-July, so about a month ago. And then 2 weeks after it happened, I was at my friend's house down the road, and they know about all this spooky stuff that goes on in my house. So we're sitting there talking, catching up, and they were like, oh, what's the latest ghost story? Because I always have one. And then I proceeded to tell them about what happened with the cups. So I tell them this story, and then later that night I go back home, and coincidentally enough, that night I had done the dishes, and I had placed a Yeti tumbler cup, a metal cup, on the drying mat, and the sink was completely clean. And just for a quick reference so you can understand what I'm talking about, this is where the cup was, and this is where the sink is. So keep that in mind. Then later that night, I woke up at 3 in the morning to my dog going berserk, and it was the same thing that happened before, but at the time, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. All I knew was that my dog was going crazy. I locked my bedroom door, and then I heard a loud crash somewhere in the house, and I still didn't put 2 and 2 together. So the next morning, I am looking around the house, I'm like, what the hell could have crashed? And then it dawns on me, look in the sink. Sure enough, the Yeti cup that was sitting on the drying mat was sitting up in the sink. And like, what are the odds that the night that I tell this story, it happens again, in the exact same manner? So now I'm thinking, like, well, shit, did it follow me to my friend's house and hear me tell this story and then intentionally try and freak me out again? So now I don't know if it's a ghost, a spooky Appalachian creature, or all of the above. Like, I don't know. So, help me.
Yeah, you know, the thing is with people, like, because I'm reading the comments and people are just like, it's the landlord. The landlord must know the ins and outs of the house and how to get around the cameras without. But why would the landlord do that? Like, why would the landlord lie about knowing the history of the house? 2, why would the landlord themselves be sneaking in and out of this gay woman's house? Like, he has a wife. Like, what would he get from doing that? Like, from walking around and sneaking into people's houses at like 3 a.m., especially in the Appalachian Mountains. And then I find it weird how, yes, like, she told her friend that story about what happened with the Yeti cups, and then came home, experienced it again. So what, the landlord mic'd her up or something? Like, come on, guys. Like, everybody, somebody said I 1000% believe that this is human and not a ghost or spirit, which to me is way scarier. And then somebody says, but that doesn't explain why it never shows up on camera. And then this dummy gonna say, because the landlord, they know where the cameras are. So you know exactly how to avoid the front camera, which is how you get into the house. He knows how to avoid the kitchen camera that, mind you, faces the entrance of the house, and the living room camera, which also faces the entrance of the house. So he somehow knows how to crawl around, which she also said that there's no way you can crawl around those cameras because it covers like a large scope of the area. So this landlord must know, like, okay, well, there's a back door or there's a back window, but regardless, the cameras would still detect what motion in the house. The cameras is not detecting no motion in the house. If it was a human person, the cameras would have detected that there's someone in the house. He lives in the house behind mine. Clock it, it's him. Somebody said I was thinking that too, but how does he avoid the cameras? If you set the camera off, there is a delay before it will record again. It won't record every time there is a movement. But she would also get a notification that somebody was messing with her camera. I don't think it's a human. Your landlord is a creep. He has a key, I bet. Change your locks. That guy probably has a key. Again, how would they know where the cameras are? She set up the cameras for her house. I mean, outside of the Ring camera. I don't think that this is somebody doing this. I think that the poor girl is being haunted. Because what is the point of you breaking into my house to make noise, not even attack me, you know, just to make noise, and then flip my Yeti cups in my sink? Like what humans is that bored to do this consistently? You know what I mean? Let's see if she posted anything else regarding this situation.
So the last video that I made of everything that has gone on inside of my house, that's really just like the major events. And I did my research before moving here. Like, I don't fuck with that spooky shit. So I did my research on the Appalachian Mountains, okay? And like, I'm not kidding. Like, that window's covered, those windows are covered. Like, when it gets dark, I'm not looking outside, no. But genuinely, like, what rattles me the most are those handprints. And here's why. So if you look at this, I measured the window from bottom to top, whatever. It's 2 feet tall, right? And if you look at this handprint, it takes up the greater majority of the window. So like, it was huge. And when I first moved in, I would hear scratching in the walls, and it went on every day for almost a few months. And I just chalked it up to like, okay, it's an animal. So I had my landlord send an exterminator out here, and they didn't find anything. They checked the attic, they checked the walls, they checked the crawl space under the house, and there was nothing. So looking back at those handprints, I don't like that. And I have seen so many videos where people talk about how skinwalkers can pose as animals. And a few weeks ago, I'm sitting on my living room couch. It's probably about 1 a.m, and the curtains were closed, and I heard a loud crash on my deck. So I opened up my Ring camera, and there was a cat on my deck. So the cat jumped this gate, and the crash that I heard was the cat trying to get to the window, and the cat's right here. And it jumped on the couch, fell off the furniture, knocked the cushions off, and I had some of them sitting up vertically because it had rained. But it was trying to get to the window. And as much as that freaked me out, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. So I opened up the curtains because I wanted to see this fucking cat. Turned on the deck lights, opened up the curtains, and this cat was looking through me. Like, it looked like it wanted me dead. And so immediately shut the curtains, cut the cameras, absolutely the fuck not. And if you know me, then you know that I am the first person to take in a stray animal. Whether it's a dog, a cat, like, you're coming home with me, we're figuring it out, and, like, we'll find you a home, or we'll take you to the shelter, whatever. But having all of these previous events in mind, because this happened August 5th. This was a few weeks ago. Having all of these previous events in mind, I will be damned before I am bamboozled by a skinwalker cat. Absolutely not. And, like, all of this shit could be coincidental, like, because my worst fear is it being some kind of Appalachian creature. I would much rather it be a ghost, because that is way easier to deal with. Like, I'm not experienced in that, but I feel pretty confident that I can handle a ghost. If it's a creature, I'm fucked. Granted, I haven't heard the typical, like, whistling, someone calling your name, like, all of that, like, spooky Appalachian lore. But I have heard whispering, I have heard talking, I have heard shit turned on when it's not on. Like, I heard the TV on the other night, and I came out to turn it off, and it was off. So to me, that speaks paranormal, but all of that, like with the cat and the handprint and then like whatever it was, either coincidental or not, I don't know, but following me to my friend's house and listening to me tell that story and then doing it again that very night. So overall, it's either a ghost or it's a creature or I have both of them and I just drew the short straw, whatever. But maybe I'm just being naive, but right now I'm just going to treat it like it's a ghost and go from there. Because I cannot handle it being something else. I don't even know what I would do. So if anyone knows a witch, hit me up. Like, it's spooky, but I'm in this lease until May, so I gotta ride it out. So the last video that
No, you don't. I'm not writing shit out. I guess I'm gonna have to figure out what happens after you break a lease. Because I ain't figuring shit out. What? There's a Lugau cat that crashed my front lawn? And first of all, why did you look? You opened the curtain and you look, and the way that cat is looking at you, that's a Lugau right there if I've ever seen one. Let's move on.
Okay, so just to clear the air, it is not a person, it is not my landlord, and I will tell you why. So first of all, the attic. I have been in the attic, I've looked in the attic, and I've never even heard noise in the attic. But the only thing in the attic is insulation and a catwalk. There is nothing up there. Number 2, there is nobody getting in through the basement because I don't have a basement. I have a crawl space. My house is raised up, and there is a crawl space underneath the house, and I've been in there, and there's nothing. That leads me to my third point. Because my house is raised up, the windows are very high off the ground. In order to get into my house through the window, you would have to have at least a 15-foot ladder. Also, if someone did come in through the window, I would know because I have seals around all of my windows. When I first moved in, I had a bug problem and I had a draft problem. So I put seals along the windows, and it is not possible to open up the windows without those seals being disturbed, and none of them are disturbed. Regarding my landlords, they are very nice people. Him and his wife, I've never had an issue with them. They've always been super kind to me, super helpful with anything that I've needed. I just think they didn't disclose that information to me because they want me to renew my lease. Obviously, if they tell me that, oh yeah, by the way, someone died and the house is haunted, I'm not going to want to renew my lease. And they've told me before that this is one of their harder properties to rent out because it's so tucked away. And they have multiple properties. But they don't want to have to look for a new tenant, which I completely understand. So I don't think they were being super shady. I just think that's the reasoning behind it. As for the cameras on the inside of my house, I have them set up so that I can see movement anywhere throughout the house. And the problem is they only pick up on movement with animals and people. So if a cup moves or a pillow falls over or whatever, it's not going to pick up on that and it won't start recording. I can open it up and see a live view, but by the time I heard the crash, it had already happened. So I don't know. Also, the cameras that I have notify me when a signal is blocked, and they're not turning off because of bad signal, so I know that nothing's blocking it. And to my next point, the cameras are mine. I installed them, I pay for the subscriptions, they're my accounts, my landlords don't have access to them, nobody has access to the cameras except for me. So, no. And to my final point, if anyone is stupid enough to come out into the middle of the woods and try and break into someone's house, especially out here, good luck.
Okay, so just to clear the...
It's not the landlord. It never made sense that it would be the landlord. And then, now that I'm reading her comments, somebody in the comment section is gonna say, I hate people. Somebody said, I don't know. I think ignoring the possibility that it could be a real person could land you in real danger. I believe in ghosts and spirits, and I get when something feels off, but you just know the handprints alone aren't enough to tell me that it isn't a person. You need to be careful. And then somebody else said, so sorry for spamming you, but please see my other comments about checking your carbon monoxide detector. I think she would have passed away by now if she was inhaling that much carbon monoxide since she's been living in the house. And somebody replied to that saying, carbon monoxide isn't gonna put handprints on the window, bro. And then this dummy replies and says, no, but it can make you forget putting your own handprints on it. Also, why I don't like telling stories online, because the type of like questions and assumptions that you get is less like, did you listen to me talk? The handprint was too big to be that of a human, and it's also in the second story window. You would need to be at least 15 feet tall to comfortably place your hands up there. People don't listen.
So in case you missed it, I'm being haunted by some kind of spooky woo-woo shit, and this is part 4. It is not my landlord, it is some kind of fucking creature. Let me explain why. My neighbor who lives down the road from me sent me this message. I'm gonna read this aloud for the class, so just bear with me here. Hey, I know this is random, but I was on TikTok just now and your video about the handprint on your window popped up on my For You page. My jaw was dropped because I've been trying to solve the mystery of how I got a huge, long-fingered handprint on the outside of my bedroom window. And then she goes on to say, you can see the fingerprints in the pollen because there's no way for me to get on the backside of that window to clean it. So if you touch it, it leaves a mark. My bedroom is on the second story and we don't have a staircase, a ladder, or a deck on that side or any possible way for somebody to get that high up. I also have cameras on all 4 sides of my house, and the day after this happened, I checked everything and could not figure it out for the life of me, and it was only one hand. The fingerprints are so long, it is so creepy, and it looks exactly like the one that you posted a picture of. I have lived up here for 10 years and have not experienced anything creepy other than that. But I wanted to share it with you because it felt so relatable and we were just down the street from each other. Bigfoot, I tried to take a picture, but it's hard to see it during the day. It's in my bottom left. And then she attached 2 pictures. Hang on. So this is the first picture, and you can see it right here. Like a long, giant handprint. Like, the fuck? And then this is the second picture she sent me, which is a little bit more clear, but like, it's the exact same one. You cannot fucking tell me otherwise. Sorry. And I asked her when all this happened, because I was curious to know if it was the same timeline, and sure as shit, it was 8 months ago, which is around the same timeline that it happened to me. So, I don't know if Bigfoot was lurking around the corner or something, but that's not a coincidence. I also asked her if I could post about this, and she replied, yeah, sure, lol, tried to get a better pic, blah, blah, blah. I will not be giving any of her information out, so don't even go there. But, yeah, she agrees that it's a handprint, so, I mean, the proof is in the pollen.
Alex's skill set is just coming out and acting, and it's creating a barrier.
So this woman's video pretty much confirms everything that I believed. About 2 weeks ago, I had paranormal investigators come out to the house to see if we could figure out what's been going on. They went throughout the house, and they didn't really pick up on anything, so I took them to the crawl space, and that's when shit started popping off. And I didn't go down there and join them. I was not about to do that. I just let them in and they were doing their thing and they were down there for almost 2 hours. And so basically what happened was the crawl space runs underneath the entirety of the house. And from floor to ceiling, it's about, I would say, 5 feet. So there's walking room down there. And in the back corners of the house, they picked up on like 2 different entities, or this is what they told me. Because, like I said, I was not about to be a part of that. Anyway, so while they were down there, they were able to communicate with these 2 entities that they believed to be down there. And they said that one of them seemed more playful and the other one seemed more dark. Now, they said that the playful one is likely the one that's been coming in the house and fucking with me. Because it's some kind of sick joke, I guess. And basically, that one is more of like a ghost. They couldn't determine if it was like a little boy or a little girl or what. But something is coming in and, like, pulling these little pranks and, like, messing with me. And it feeds off of my reaction to it. So the more scared I am, the more it's gonna do it because they think it's funny. Now, the darker entity, they really couldn't get a read on. And they weren't sure what it was, like, if it was even a person. But that one, they said, seems to stay dormant underneath the house. Which, like, that's fine with me. Stay down there, because I don't hang out down there. That's the dirt. And these people that came here weren't mediums by any means, I don't believe. I think they were just paranormal investigators as far as I could tell. But similar to what this woman is saying, they also believed that the darker entity under the house is more antagonistic than it is a threat. And as long as it's not inside the house, then I'm fine. But they just said it seemed very disgruntled and it might just be best to leave that one. Now the dog is growling. That's great. So anyway, I have taken these past 2 weeks to kind of just ingest the information that I received and try and figure out what I want to do about this, because my concern is if I get rid of the ghost that is, I could probably easily get rid of, is that going to piss off the creature? Like, is the creature losing its friend? Is that what is keeping the creature at bay? Like, he has a little playmate down there? Because if that's the case, then they can both stay. My biggest concern is that creature thing coming inside, because I really don't want that. And, I mean, just now I'm talking about getting rid of it, and the dog growled. So, I think it wants to stay. But if it would be harmless to just get rid of the ghost, and the creature's just still down there being miserable, that's not my problem. So, by all means, this woman, she offered to get rid of things in my house. Get rid of whatever you think is best, and if you think it's best to just leave it, then just leave it. And I think also those paranormal investigators going down there, I think that ticked them off a little bit, because after they left that night, it was about 9:30, and I was in my living room, and the door to the crawl space is wood, and it's about that thick. And so in the summertime and when it's warm out, the wood expands and it's harder to pull open that door. And you can really hear when someone's trying to pull on it or like bang on it, especially if you're in the house because the walls are so thin. Anyway, I was sitting on my couch, 9:30 at night, and this is maybe 3 hours after these people left, and I hear banging. Like, it was like 5 or 6 bangs on the crawl space door below me. And I was like, oh, fuck no. And mind you, I had never heard that noise before. So to me, that was like a warning. Like, do not mess with me or I'm coming in. And so I haven't gone down there since. Like, the door is shut and locked. Like, absolutely not. So I'm just kind of unsure of what to do. Like, I feel like at this rate, it's probably best to just leave it. But if it would be harmless to get rid of something, then get rid of it, because it's fucking spooky.
Probably best to move out. But that's just what I think. I don't know though. This video has gone on long enough. That concludes the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, or if you guys made it all the way through at 42 minutes in, go ahead and leave me a comment. Please, guys, leaving comments actually does help the video a lot. So leave a comment letting me know what you thought of this video. Would you ever move to the Appalachian Mountains? Do you believe what these people are going through? And what would you do if you were in that scenario? I don't know. Answer any one of these questions. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, especially if you've been watching me for a while now. Which, by the by, you guys, I have merch. I do. I have merch. I'm going to put the link down below. make sure you cop your very own Abducted Human merch. I have hoodies, blankets, especially for the spooky season and the cool chilly season coming up. You might want to get you some Abducted Human merch. Like I say at the end of every single video, I love you, my abducted humans, literally to the moon and back. Let me know what you guys want to see more of on this channel. Make sure you subscribe to my vlog channel because I will be posting more hair content, which you guys have been asking me for, over on my vlog channel. The link to that will also be in the description. Like I say at the end of every single video, I love you, my abducted humans, from your absolute favorite Haitian homegirl.